Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news all right. Seahawks fans, buckle up because the NFL rumor mill is buzzing with some seriously game-changing potential moves. And one of the biggest stories revolves around Derek Brown, the powerhouse defensive tackle from the Carolina Panthers. Now, before you start jumping out of your seats, let's dig into what's being whispered around the league and what it could mean for Seattle's quest to dominate both offensively and defensively in the upcoming seasons. You know how much we love beefing up that defensive line, especially when it comes to stopping the run and creating pressure on the quarterback. And right now, the talk is that the Seahawks are eyeing Derek Brown in what could be one of the most impactful trades of this NFL cycle. Sources like Adam Schefter and Diana Rossini are hinting at a blockbuster deal that might go down after the deadline, scheduled for November 22. According to these reports, the Panthers are open to trading Brown, a player they've been trying to rebuild around, in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a third-round pick. The idea is to free up about $16 million in cap space, which the Panthers are desperately looking to do as they reset their roster, especially on the offensive line. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, sitting at 7-3, are desperate to continue their internal dominance and are looking to add a run-stopping force to their already stout defense. Now, Derek Brown isn't just any DT. The guy's a mountain of a man, a big bear, as some call him, known for his titanic strength against the run. Think about the impact he had in Carolina last season and what he could do in Seattle with our existing talent. His ability to anchor the middle of the defensive line would be a game-changer, especially in a division loaded with run-heavy offenses like San Francisco's 49ers and Los Angeles Rams. This isn't just about stopping the run. Brown's presence would elevate the entire Seahawks defense, giving them a top-tier run-stopping EPA boost of over 20%. That's a massive upgrade, and it would complement our existing pass rushers like Mafe beautifully. Let's take a quick look at his profile. Drafted 7th overall in 2020, Brown has accumulated a solid career of 350 tackles and 15 sacks so far. His PFF grade overall hovers around 86.8, a testament to his consistency and disruptive ability. In 2025, he's posted 45 tackles and 3 sacks in just 10 games, showing he's still got plenty left in the tank. His run defense grade is particularly impressive, ranking among the top 10 defensive tackles in the league, and he's been a force against the run, with a pass rush rating around 79.5, adding pressures, QB hits, and forced fumbles. Unfortunately, he suffered an ankle injury in Week 5, missing 2 games, but he's been back to his disruptive self when healthy. What makes this trade even more appealing is the context of the Panthers' season. They're currently 1-9, allowing nearly 30 points per game, and are clearly in a full rebuild mode. They've got about $20 million in cap space, but their defense, allowing close to 294 points this season, needs a serious overhaul. Moving Brown makes sense for them, especially since they're focusing on youth and draft picks, even though they're losing their anchor in the middle. It's similar to the Giants trading Leonard Williams or the Jets moving on from Quinnen Williams in terms of strategic rebuilds. For the Seahawks, bringing Brown in would be like adding a defensive linchpin that could push our run defense from already solid to downright elite. Think about it. With Brown anchoring the interior, the Seahawks could potentially reduce their rushing yards allowed from over 112 yards per game to under 90. That would be a game changer, especially in close games where stopping the run is critical. Plus, his presence would help reduce injuries in our rotation, taking some of the load off players like Reed, who's aging and needs some help. And there's more. Adding Brown could lead to a 12–15% increase in forced turnovers, which is huge for our defense. It would also boost our edge rushers like Uchenna by creating more pressure and opportunities for sacks. His addition would make the Seahawks a nightmare for NFC West running backs, think Christian McCaffrey or others, and make our defense a true fortress. The impact on the playoffs could be enormous, with our odds of winning the Super Bowl potentially dropping from plus 1,200 to around plus 700 once Brown is in the fold. That's a huge shift, especially considering how much he could emulate the impact Aaron Donald had in Lowe's Angels back in 2018, boosting the Rams' defensive EPA and helping them contend deep into the postseason. Now, looking at the big picture, this move would essentially help the Seahawks erect an almost unbreakable fortress on the inside, echoing the legendary Legion of Boom days, but with a new, modern twist. The Panthers, on the other hand, would be pivoting to a rebuild focused on youth and draft capital, paving the way for a future that might include new stars at their key positions. It's the kind of strategic swap that could set both teams on different paths, one toward a new defensive dynasty in Seattle, and the other toward building for the future with a fresh core. Of course, all of this hinges on the negotiations and whether the Panthers are truly willing to part with Brown, but the signs point to a serious interest from the Seahawks front office. They know how much a player like Brown could elevate their defense, especially as the season winds down and the playoff push heats up. His addition could be the final piece that puts us over the top, especially against those run-heavy teams we face in the NFC West and beyond. It's the kind of move that could define our season and solidify our status as contenders for another Super Bowl run, inspired by the old Legion of Boom, but revamped for today's NFL. So, Seahawks fans, keep your eyes peeled because if this trade goes through, it's going to be a game changer. Our defense would become one of the most formidable in the league, and our chances of making a deep playoff run would skyrocket. Derek Brown's potential arrival is not just a rumor. It's a statement that the Seahawks are serious about competing at the highest level, and they're willing to make bold moves to do it. This could be the start of a new era of Seahawks dominance, one where the interior defensive line is no longer a weakness but a true strength that strikes fear into every NFC West opponent. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential Derek Brown trade? Do you think it's the move that takes our defense to the next level? Would you be comfortable giving up a first-round pick in 2026 for a guy who could anchor our line for years to come? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seattle Seahawks. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seahawks news and let's keep this conversation going. We're building something special here, and with your support, we're ready to take on whatever the NFL throws at us. Go Hawks!